everybody, and welcome to Frankie Upcycles. This is a channel where I just take stuff I've already got or thrifted stuff and I recycle it, reuse it, upcycle it, redo it. Anyway, what I got today is a twin comforter, and I have the sham that goes with it. Now, I've been going to the ballparks in the evening times because ballpark is cranked up, and it's just March, the 1st of March, and so you know how it gets cold at night. So I want something that's going to keep me warm. So instead of having to lug a bunch of blankets and a bunch of sweaters and stuff, I'm going to make myself a body koozie out of this. So stick with me and see how it turns out. Okay, so also what I wanted to show you was this hat right here. I'm going to make me a hat to support him. Now, I had these two hats that I made, and I'm supporting my other grandson. So anyway, I am going to incorporate these. His number's 14, and his name is Ty. Okay, so here's my thinking. Now, I've got this long ways, and I know it's too long even at that. So it's not running up and down, it's long ways. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it like this. And I am just going to sew this piece down. And then this piece I'm going to use as a blanket. That way I ain't got to cut it off. And then I will put me a button right here. And then that way, when I take it on and off, I can still cover up. Now, why I'm doing this is because I normally take a sleeping bag. And of course, you know, your sleeping bag, your feet's inside. And so it has happened that I've jumped up and got excited and almost fell on somebody else. So this way, my feet is going to be open at the bottom. So all I got to do is just step into it and cover up. Then I'm going to put me some straps on so when I do stand up, it don't fall off as I'm clapping while my grandson is hitting a home run. Just saying. Also, I'm not going to pull that back up, but just pretend I got it on. This piece right here is the sham, the pillow sham. Now, what I've done is went ahead and pinned it. And I am going to pin it like this. Okay, what I done is I just folded it in two. And then here was a flap. And I'm going to use that as pocket. Why, I don't know. I'm always putting something in there. Anyway, I'm going to put it right about here and then leave it open on the sides. Well, I said I was going to leave it open on the sides. I already pinned it. And then that way I can stick my hands in it, and then this will be my hand warmer. So let me get to pinning, or let me get to sewing. Okay, so now I've got it on my table, and this part over here is going to be my body koozie, and this part over here is just going to be my blanket I throw over. So I've just lined it up, and I'm fixing to pin it, and I'm fixing to go all the way down and just make one seam till I get to the bottom. Now I'm going to cut the bottom off later because that's what I'm going to straps with. How you like my little pin cushion? That was like one of them little house shoes, and I wore it to death, and so I thought that was cute. So I just cut the back half of the shoe off, stuffed it with some cotton, and now I got me a little pin thing. Anyway, I digress. So I'm fixing to finish this up, and I'm fixing to put a seam all the way down. Okay, so now I've got that all sewed down. Just done me a little stitch all the way down right through here. So now I know, it's not gonna be up here. It'll be like right about here. So now I need to find out where I'm going to cut it off. Just meant to say that I'm not going to cut it off short enough to where, and I want my feet to be covered too because my feet get cold. So I'm going to make it just where it hits the floor, and then, I'm going to sit down and try to figure out where that's going to be, and then I'll cut that off. Okay, so I have decided 3 squares from the bottom. I know that don't matter to you, but that's where I'm going to cut all the way across, and then I'm going to, like I said, use this for my straps. Okay, so since I cut that off, I had to fix that edge. So I serged it down. If you don't have a serger, use a zigzag. And then what I done is I folded, this is the part that's gonna cover me, like my little extra blanket that I ain't gotta carry. So I just folded it under and hemmed it. That way that's even on both sides. Now this half that I'm getting in is, I just serged it all the way around and I just folded it under. So that's where my feet's coming out at. Okay, on second hand, I think I need to do the straps first. So that way, you know, I'll know where it's gonna hold it, fit me, and then I'll know, because I don't want my pockets way up here. Well, I don't know, maybe I do. Well, let me get the straps on first. Okay, so here's the middle of it. And I know I am just going to use this as my measurement. And I am going to put 2 straps on right here. All right, so here's the piece I cut off. This edge is already finished. So I'm just going to cut this piece off right through here all the way around since this edge is already finished. And then I'll just got to roll it around to a hem and make it match this side. And these will be my straps. Okay, so for my straps, I zigzagged it across with my regular sewing machine because I was too lazy to change the blue thread over, just to zigzag and just to sew that blue piece, because you're not going to see it anyway. So what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm fixing to, here we go. I'm going to turn it upside down and do me a stitch all the way across here. And then I'm going to flip it back over and sew me another stitch across the top. My fingers just ain't working right. Got the arthritis in my fingers so bad. And then I'll sew across that, and then that'll be my finished strap for the back. Now for the front, I think I might do something different. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So I got the strap on, folded it over, so that way I don't have any raw edges. Okay, so for my front, I don't really want to get the buttonhole machine out because this is a little thick and I don't want to tear my machine up. I'm going to get these little ponytail holders right here. Little ponytail holders. And for this is going to be the front. And then I'm just fixing to slip this over here like this right here. Okay, so it's on there. Now I'm fixing to if I can show it to you right. Okay, now I'm fixing it. Let me pull it down. Okay, I'm fixing to do me a seam, so it'll be looking like this right here. And then there will be, so I'll just sew right across there, and there will be my buttonhole thingy, majiggy. And then I'm going to put a button on here, and that way I can just button it. I'm not making much sense today, but I hope you're following me. Okay, so I've got them on. There they are. There's the back. But look, I got a blue one and a black one. I don't think nobody's going to notice, do you? Anyway. I must have bought 2 different packs. Okay, I dug and dug and dug, and I found 2 large buttons that I might use, but I don't know. All right, so here's that pillow sham that goes with this. So I just folded it in 2, is what I did. And then I left enough, well, I say I folded it in 2. I folded it down and I made me a flap. I hope that's making sense. See? There's the whole thing. So I folded it down. I'm making me a flap right here. So what I'm fixing to do is I'm fixing to sew this. I'll just sew it all. I don't have to. I guess I can just sew it right through there. And then I'll sew this one just right through here, because I'm wanting to leave this open for my hands. So I'm just going to stitch it right here and right here. And then I'm going to see if I can't stitch me one right here, so I'll have 2 pockets right here. So, and then what I'm going to do is find out where I want it, and I'll just sew right across here and right across the bottom. And then that way it'll leave my hands open to get in here. And when I'm eating popcorn, then I can, whatever I don't catch in my mouth, I'll catch right here and eat it later. So that's what I'm fixing to do next. Except, I think I might run to the store. I don't know if I'm crazy about these or not. I know it's just for the ballpark, and I don't want it to look like I got 2 big buttons for boobs here. So I might see if I can't find me two bigger buttons. So I might not finish this till tomorrow. want to show you. So here's the pillow sham, and how I folded it is I just started at the bottom and just pushed it up to here, and now I got those pockets. So now, you know, a while ago I had it this way, and I wasn't going to be able to get in there to sew those little pockets. So I'm going to take it to my machine right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just sew one down right here and one down right here, and I'll have like a couple of little pockets, you know, for my cell phone or whatever. But I just thought I'd go ahead and unfold it so you'd know how I folded it. All right, so I've got that sewed. So I got a little pocket right here. I got this one. It fits my cell phone, because you know I got to take pictures when I get up to bat. Okay, so I'm thinking this through as I go. And I was originally going to put it right here, but then this is my cover up, the rest of it. And so I thought, well, if I got to get to my phone or whatever, then I need to be able to get to it. So I'm going to put it on the flap side. This is the blooper. This is the side that I'm going to put it on, the flapper side. Then I can get my hands in there and warm up. So I'm fixing to sew it on the flap side. Well, you would think in this vast sea of buttons that I have, I could find, there's my button jar right there, that I could find 2 buttons big enough to go on, but I don't have a match, not one, in there big enough. Now these I couldn't get on because it wouldn't go that little tip right there. If it had been bigger, I could have used them, but I can't get it through that quilty stuff. So, only 2 buttons that I got matching is on a sock. So I'm just going to clip this one off, and it's the almost biggest ones I can find. I'll just use these 2. And let me get this one on. Okay. Got it there. Now, here's my flap. Oh, there's a string. Big long string. Okay. So here is a flap. So I'm at the ballpark. There's my flap. And here is my hand warmers. So I'm going to be all set. See, I even got, well, I'm barefooted, but I made it a little long so I could cover my feet up because my feet get cold. And then when I stand up to cheer, it don't fall off. Okay, now for the hat. So I'm thinking I'm going to put T right here. And the Y. And then the 1-4 right here, the ball back here. So let me get them on, let me get them pressed on. Okay, so I got one last thing I want to do. Well, here's my hat. I want to show you my hat. Now, I know the jerseys don't match. The oldest grandson's playing tonight, so this is his jersey. And then the other grandson's playing the next. So I always got to make sure I got the right hat with the right jersey. Anyway, I digress again. What I'm going to do, I've got a little left over, and so instead of having to just roll it up and carry it up and under my arm, I'm going to make this a tube, just like this right here. And then I'll put some Velcro on it right through there. And then I'm going to use this little piece right here for a handle. All right, got it made. Put my Velcro on both sides, one on this side and one on that side. So I'm just going to roll her up. Flip this. Well, I guess it don't, well, yeah, the handle's on the other side. There's my handle. I'm ready for the ballpark. Yeah. There's my hat. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. And that was just an idea that I wanted to do, because I'm always cold at the ballpark if I don't take a bunch of blankets. So now I can just put this on my arm and take off. Now, the only problem is me wearing the right hat to the right game. So, I'm ready for this one tonight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. This is Frankie Upcycles. And until next time, God bless you. God bless your family. Y'all stay safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Golly. You go well. That's like a drum.